My name is Annie Nielsen, and I'm from the University of Copenhagen, where I work as a postdoc on the LINKS project. LINKS stands for Strengthening Links Between Technology and Society for Improved European Disaster Resilience. It strives to improve learning on the use of social media and crowdsourcing in disasters. The project thus speaks directly to the Sendai Framework's goal on promoting and enhancing technology transfer and enhancing and strengthening the utilization of social media, big data, and mobile phone networks to support regional and national measures for successful disaster risk governance. In the LINKS project, we have a particular focus on social media and crowdsourcing, as these technologies are increasingly used across the globe to enhance efficiency and inclusiveness in disaster risk governance. Think of the 2010 Haiti earthquake, where the introduction of crowdsourced maps supported the disaster response for the international humanitarian community by efficiently mapping crisis information such as the damage, needs, locations, and security conditions on the open source platform Ushahidi. This is an example of how social media and crowdsourcing platforms play a crucial role in disaster governance and speaks to the importance of an increased understanding of how we harvest their potentials, but also deal with the negative consequences, such as the spreading of fake news. In LINKS, the exploration of these interactions between technology and society is done across 3 knowledge domains. The first knowledge domain centers around people and looks at how people's risk perception and vulnerabilities are affected by social media and crowdsourcing in disasters. The second knowledge domain centers around institutions and how disaster management processes are challenged or optimized by using social media and crowdsourcing in disasters. The third knowledge domain looks at disaster community technologies and provides an in-depth understanding of existing tools and technologies. Resilience thus depends on healthy and well-functioning interactions between 3 central domains: institutions, people, and technology. From these knowledge domains, LINKS will develop methods, tools, and guidelines resulting in a framework. This framework is developed through interactions with relevant stakeholders, offline and in person. This participatory approach is structured around 5 practice-driven cases. Here we explore the potential and challenges of applying social media and crowdsourcing technologies in concrete practices. The cases are flooding in Denmark, drought in Germany, terrorism in Germany, earthquake in Italy, and chemical spill in the Netherlands. All cases involve key practitioners working with disaster risk management. Here at University of Copenhagen, we are responsible for the domain that relates to institutions. We explore how we can increase the capacity of disaster management organizations through the application of social media and crowdsourcing for greater efficiency and inclusiveness in their disaster risk management processes. This is done through an extensive literature review. We have identified 4 central drivers for increasing the capacity of institutions in using social media and crowdsourcing in their disaster management. The first driver is credible information and speaks to the fact that public and accurate information is crucial in disaster management. The second driver is learning. Institutions that build resilience, generate knowledge, and exchange this knowledge. The third driver is vulnerability and promote structures that include vulnerable groups. The fourth driver is decision-making processes. This speaks to basic principle of good governance and the fact that resilient institutions are institutions that include people, are transparent and efficient. These drivers together point to the great potential of using social media and crowdsourcing technologies in disaster risk governance. They also point to the clear challenges that are facing all disaster management organizations that are or want to engage these technologies in their disaster management efforts. To deal with these challenges, we suggest 2 overall moves. First, a move from a focus to technology to a focus on people. We need to ask questions on how European disaster management organizations ensure that all people are equally informed and involved in disaster management effort. We also need to ask questions about the extent to which European governments, local and national, take on an active role in using technologies when disaster strikes. The second move is a move towards a greater and more holistic understanding of disaster risk management. We know that social media and crowdsourcing are used increasingly and widely in response efforts, but we actually have little understanding of how social media and crowdsourcing can be used in other phases of the disaster management cycle. for example in prevention and long-term recovery? These are some of the questions that we will try to answer in the next steps of the LINKS project. If you would like to know more about the extensive review that we did, take a look at our new report available on the LINKS website.